with them. So guys, today we will be majorly discussing about the challenges or the problems that you might face, or if any doubts that you might have. And we already have some, so we'll start with those. But at the same time, during the discussion, if you think you want us to discuss something out, then definitely drop in a message, or you can raise your hand and we'll try to get you in for the conversation. And secondly, let's say if you have not started testing and developing on the same, so what you can do is, if later on you come up with the same and you have a problem, then as you know, we have the unique channel, you can put your queries over there itself and we'll start working on the same. Okay, Deepak, Philip, guys, over to you. Please take the conversation. Thanks.
Okay, fire away, Deepak, with the questions. We're ready. Sergey is all set and primed for these difficult questions.
Okay. Hey, Philips and Sergey. Let me start with first question. Can I share my screen, or you want to share your screen?
Yeah, well, I mean, that's the best way if you want to show us code or something, of course.
Yes, because we have some questions from the code also. Let me share my screen. Please confirm if you are able to see.
Yeah, we can.
Yeah, we see it.
You are able to see the code, GitHub code, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's just go to the index. Not index, first environment. Yeah, like here we have used like Opal one, that is the testnet, right?
Mm-hmm.
So can we use here the quads and something else?
Yes, you can use both quartz and unique, but here's the issue. Quartz and unique use coins that have value, which means that those are coins which are available in exchanges and have real world value. It costs dollars to mint. Literally, it costs you money to develop if you use those. So the basic idea behind the testnet and the quartz and unique networks is the way Polkadot imagined it was, they said like, let's have they didn't even envision a test network at all. They thought like, let's make the Kusama network a canary network. And this is where, this is where Gavin said like, expect chaos, which was meant to be like, develop here and do crazy stuff and expect things to break here. And then when you make them really kind of hardcore, working well and everything, then you place it over to unique, you port it over, you don't actually port it, you just redirect everything to the unique network, and it starts work, to Polkadot network, and it starts working there like a charm. So what happened was actually that since both the Quartz and the Polkadot network have coins which have value, it makes no sense to develop in using those tokens, because it costs you money to test these mints. And so every parachain that came in said like, no, we need a test network. So we need a valueless coin. And this is the reason why we have a faucet. The faucet is a faucet that gives you unlimited amounts of opal. Like, you can get really rich on opal if you have all the time in the world to send it requests for more and more and more and more. Of course, it gets reset after some time, but it's a valueless coin. You can't exchange it for anything. So the only point of that being that is you get from the faucet as much opal as you want, because you expect to be spending a lot through your development. So you'll be minting like 1,000 NFTs and trying to see how they can interact or develop your application and so on. So the moment you finish your work in the Opal network, you just change your RPC endpoint. You essentially just transfer over to the Quartz network to start the phase of the so-called canary phase, which is the pre-production phase of letting your application live and work on the network, on the Kusama network. So as you imagine, the Kusama network has the same architecture as the parents, not the parent, but the older brother network, which is Polkadot. There is a layer 0 chain which functions symmetrically, just like it does on the Polkadot chain. It has some maybe some features which are one step ahead or in test phase in terms of the development of Polkadot. I don't know, Sergey, do chime in if I'm wrong at this point, if Kusama is going a bit ahead of Polkadot in terms of development. But the point being, the moment you place your application on the Kusama network, you're working with real world coins, which means it costs you money you can engage in economy, which means you can have a marketplace, you can sell your NFTs, you can mint and when you mint your NFTs, it costs money. Even though Unique Network is one of the networks with the smallest fees, it's still some kind of money. I mean, it's ridiculous. It costs I don't know, I can't remember. Sergey, do you remember how much it cost us to mint 10,000 NFTs? It was $9 or $5. I can't even remember. It was something really, really ridiculously small amount of money. But the point being is it's real money. And the point being is the market doesn't have any restrictions in terms of how much money you want to spend. So if you want to sell your NFTs for 1,000 Kusama, you can, if you find a buyer. So that makes it a platform where you can test in the Canary environment, all the things, if they're working, and if they're breaking, then everybody says, well, you're on the Kusama network. So what do you expect? This is the place where things we do expect to break. But then there comes a certain phase in the development of the application where you say, okay, now we've got a running stable framework of everything that we want to be functioning. And then we transition over to the Polkadot network, and there you expect stability. So that's the idea. So these endpoints that you're asking, the SDK REST URL, are actually looking at the REST API endpoints for all the 3 networks, actually 4 networks that exist in the Unique blockchain. So to disambiguate the mystery of the 4th network, so we said we have Opal, the test network. We have Quartz, which is on the Kusama. We have Unique, which is on the Polkadot, but there is a Sapphire, oh heavens forbid, Sapphire network, which is a very special network because it has the pre-alpha solutions that we develop on our blockchain, but it uses the Quartz token. Why did we make this? Because there are companies and developers who wanted the cutting edge features that are in our pre-alpha and alpha stage, which are really, really, really on the edge of kind of what is new and phenomenal in our developments. And they had this requirement. We need it now. We need it now. We don't want to wait. But we're in pre-alpha. It needs to go through the phases of medicine is being tested. There has to be these stage 2, stage 3, stage 4 when you test on people and find out whether it works or not. So it is with code. You need phases to test how it works. And in the Sapphire network, what the developers and the companies actually ask is, no, let us test our code on one network, which will allow us to use our applications as real world applications. That means where you can use tokens which have value. And then for that purpose, we created the Sapphire network, which works with the Quartz token and is actually as advanced as the Opal network, which always runs ahead of everything in terms of development and so on. So that's the layout of.
So is Sapphire is also based on Kusama or Polkadot, or is there a different testnet?
The Sapphire is, I need a bit of help from you, Sergey, here. I think it's a side chain, is it? It's a different...
I believe so. Yeah, I believe so myself as well.
Yeah, I think it's a side chain. So the fact that it uses Quartz means it's a side chain that rides on the Kusama part of the branch.
Yeah.
So one thing, sorry, Deepak, to interrupt. So, Philip, we are able to see your background, but we are not able to see you. So right now we are just seeing the unique background on screen.
Okay, so here's me, but why do you need to look at me? I switched it off.
It's not
I
that.
switched it off. I mean,
I thought there was some glitch.
no. I switched it off actually to kind of conserve bandwidth because I have been having trouble with my
Okay, please.
internet this morning, and I was like, oh, if it starts going all the time, so I better like switch off this. But if you don't mind, I'd like
Yeah,
to
please.
off. Yeah, right.
Yeah,
Thanks.
we can do that. It was just, I thought something related to what we were experiencing yesterday. So that's why just
Thank you for noticing.
thank
And
you.
is unique spelled the right way? Is it right, showing?
Yeah, it is. It is absolutely right.
Thank heavens! Like I can't really fight with this anymore. But thank you for telling me.
Thanks.
Okay. So does that answer the question? Do I
Yes,
need?
yes, perfect. Like one more thing we can see here is we haven't set the seed here, right?
Mhm.
Okay, if we go to the index.ts and we can see here, right? If seed is not present, then what we are doing is we are returning the error, right?
Yeah. So Sergey will tell you about it. So this is the crucial part. Remember when we were talking about how important setting your wallet is, because the wallet is your identity through which you're doing the signing. This is the point where it comes in. Sergey, can you chime in with this crucial point?
Yeah, of course. So as was mentioned, you have to pay for all the operations on the blockchain, which is pretty obvious. I'm pretty sure you're all familiar with gas prices on Ethereum, so it's pretty much the same. And basically, you need an account from which you're going to do all the operations. And this account is something you provide in the environment file. You just cannot create an NFT or collection without it being tied to some account and without paying some gas fees. So as simple as that.
Yeah, but like for now, we haven't set the seed, right? So if we run this, it should give error or
Yeah,
it'll.
Yes, of course.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, because you cannot create a signer without the seed being the mnemonic which you use to create the wallet. So you can't have a signer. You need, this is the way that the magic is done through code. How do you know those boxes that pop up and say like, oh, there's an extrinsic that needs your approval,
Yeah.
approve it, click it here. So you can't sign that extrinsic unless you're doing it from a wallet. So what we're doing here with creating the signer with the seed, which is the mnemonic, is providing a method through which a request and actually a transaction, an extrinsic, can be signed through code.
Okay. So for the participant, guys, if you are using this code, so you need to place your seed here, right, Philip?
Yes. If you remember, at the very beginning, we Sergey showed when we created the wallet, there was this 24-word mnemonic.
Yeah.
Okay, and this is where you paste it. He said, like, you'll see in the code a bit later, I will specifically show you the point where you need to paste this code, and this where you're showing is that place.
Okay. So one doubt came is like what we are doing by this prompt is like used to get the input from user, right? So what is the meaning of?
I did this just for conveniences, so you can run code step by step. So basically, it helps you to stop the code between each iteration. So you can, for example, go and see the results or something. So it just doesn't run 10 operations at once. You can just run them by clicking enter in the console. So it's only for education and just for participant convenience.
It's a developer hack. Yeah, it's for the convenience of making the code stop at certain points. You move it around. I mean, developers move it around where you need it to happen.
Yeah. Okay. Let's go to the randy.ts, and we have some doubt regarding token. Can you explain again about this attribute, like token permission, token property
Yeah, of course.
permissions?
Basically, anything on the blockchain is expected to be immutable, which is not really the case with NFTs, who's one of the good features here is being mutable. However, we provide a lot of flexibility on the way how mutable you want your NFTs to be. So basically, you can say that my NFT can change those fields, but those fields will never be changed. So it helps to build the trust among the community on top of giving some flexibility, because one of the main goals of us and our blockchain is to give as much flexibility as possible. And at the same time, we want to keep all the important parts of the crypto and Web3 in the first place. So we want to build the trust. We want people to know what is possible, what is not. And for some cases, you want some fields to be mutable. For other cases, you don't want them to be mutable. For example, if you're building some sort of game, you might want to modify your NFTs in some way or another using your admin account. So you can set up a permission that says like this property can be set by admin. On the other hand, we have a new feature coming up with royalties, for example, that will set up a royalty that will be received by the creator of a collection. So if you create a collection, you set up royalties, and whenever someone buying your NFT, you will get a little bit of money for that. And you want to keep this field immutable. So you want to say that this field will never change, because if you say that this field can be changed, it just gives zero trust to users, because, well, why should I buy an NFT if the owner can at any moment just set this number to 100? So whenever it's being sold, all the money will be gone to the owner of the collection, to the creator. And I, as the owner of NFT, get nothing. So I don't want to risk it. So I don't trust this NFT, and I'm not working with it. So on that note, you can just set up this field as immutable. So you can set a permission like it can never be changed ever again by setting it as permission to collection admin false, token owner false, mutable false. And now I am as a buyer, I see this NFT, I see that, okay, creator will get 1% from all the sales, but he cannot change his value. Therefore, I will always retain 99% of the value for myself. So those permissions are for basically those which fields are mutable, which fields are immutable, and it's obviously open information, so anyone can see which fields you're allowed to change, by whom, and stuff.
Yeah, okay. Like in this field, what we are doing is we are creating a collection, right? Mm-hmm. So this, let's go. This key is defining the attributes of which we have defined here, right?
Yes, exactly.
So we're not creating yet. We're describing what the collection that we want to create will look like. So we're defining it here. We're not creating it at this point yet.
Okay. So these attributes are of collection, right?
No, those attributes will be the attributes for a token. So it's a schema. So all tokens of this collection will have to follow this schema. Therefore, all tokens of this collection will have to set up those attributes. And this one also provides you the necessary information, which attributes can be there, which is basically the main point here. And second, you can set up the rules for those attributes, like which type they want to be. Are they mutable? Are they not? Are they optional? Can they have multiple choices of sorts, etc., etc.? So you just define all the metadata for those properties here.
Okay, so in the creation of collection, we define the permissions of the token, right?
Yeah, it's the schema.
For token attributes, yes.
Yeah, like a template for what each member of that collection will look like. A kind of a skeleton for and this is when Sergey says optional, it means that some elements of what you define in the schema do not have to be present in the token. Essentially, you can have them undefined or optional, as we call them, but this is where you define what must exist and what are the obligatory elements, the ones that are actually the framework of the token that you're defining for every token in that collection.
Yeah, got it. Okay, so like here we are saying that we can mint some tokens on others' address, right? If we put like here our account. So what is the use of it?
Well, as Philip mentioned on the previous Q&A, if you want to give NFT to someone, you have two options. One, you can create it on someone else's account in the first place, or second, you can create it for yourself and then transfer it. Therefore, you will have two transactions. And it's just a quality of life thing. So if you don't need it, well, you probably don't need it. It's a very niche case in the first place. So it's really hard to come by with ideas why it should be used. So it's mostly going to be used by games and their specific cases. Well, games are in general always about specific cases, and maybe about co-ops. So when you want to give something to someone else. As a benefit, you may just save a little bit of money on fees, because if you minted it for yourself, you have to transfer it. So it's two transactions.
Yeah.
So it's
so
not
that's
only...
the point. That's the point, Sergey.
Yeah, so
exactly. You hit the nail on the head with that. It's like if you make a site with the mint button. So when you join that site, you give your wallet address as your login to that site. So the Web3 way of doing things, okay? You come to the site, they say connect your wallet, you connect your wallet and you get access to the mint button. The moment you press the mint button, it can be minted to your wallet, not to the wallet of the collection. So that it has to be transferred in a second stage, as Sergey said just a moment ago. So the classical way would be mint it into the collection, and then the site would send it from that collection to the wallet of the one who is present in it. No, we can go directly. So yeah, because we make super duper infrastructure solutions for NFTs, we thought of this like one step ahead, and we were like, okay, we provide you with the ability to skip that one step. You can mint directly to another wallet. There you go.
Yeah, that was a fantastic thing.
One more thing here is it also saves time. So keep in mind that each transaction can take up to 12 seconds. So if you want to mint and send 10,000 NFTs, it's basically a lot of time. And if you're minting it for yourself and then transferring, it's just basically double of that time, which is very inconvenient as well.
Yeah, correct. And okay, so next question is, like, if we need to upload the images, like you have uploaded this images on your unique network IPFS, so how we can do it?
You can either do it manually through the Swagger. So you can just add images on the REST API. Yeah, you can open it now. I believe it was... I'm not sure if you can Google it. But anyway, so you can try the UI, or you can write a code on your own. So I believe there is some examples on the Swagger GitHub on the REST SDK GitHub. there should be some examples on how to do it via code. I don't think we have this in documentation because we are not posting it publicly very much yet. So it's a sort of hidden feature. Like if you know, you use it. If you don't know, well, you don't know.
And I think
Sergey,
yeah, sorry for interrupting. Go ahead.
No, I was about to suggest just if it's something that bothers you, you can just use any other upload tool like ImageGuru or whatever. I think it would be much easier.
Yeah, it doesn't really matter. I mean, there's what was the name of the other one? The Giraffe or something like that. I don't know. There are IPFS endpoints where you can you have a website utility where you can offload your folders of images and so on. So in this sense, it is open to kind of whatever you want to choose to be your place of storage on the IPFS. It's up to you, and you can use the unique network IPFS as well, of course. I think I wanted to mention, Sergey, that I think the girls in the Women Hack presentation actually provided even a tool for uploading folders in this manner. So I have to make a point here, and I'm currently writing it in our unique building channel in the current Discord channel. I'll give you the link to the YouTube channel. If you get a chance, hop over and take a look at what they did. I think they created a little utility which makes it really simple to apply these mass kind of creation, sending to IPFS and so on operations in kind of a very convenient way.
Yes, I definitely did. I just don't remember if the code is actually up to date because there was some changes to the operation recently. So I'm not sure if the tutorial is actually up to date, but well, worth a shot. If you really want to, why not?
Okay, then. The next question is like, if we can see where we have nested this. And that's yes, here. And let me first open the Notion page. Like if we see the third challenge, right? So we are saying we need to create a bundle using two collections, A and B. Collection A should provide a bundle root token, that is only a token from collection A can be bundled root, and collection B should provide token which will be nested in a bundle. Use the token B attribute as a way to define criteria for nesting collection B token. That is, use token attribute as a criteria for nesting logic. Okay, so like if we see here, we have nested like collection we have nested the collection A token to the collection B first token. But here we haven't defined the criteria. Like here we are saying that
we made it easy, but we're not going to solve your task. Come on, man. So this is the thing. Okay, we just did it's just a small twist in the game. The reason is we showed you how to nest them, okay? But we want you to think about what would be an interesting way. How would you choose out of many tokens what you want to nest? Can you use some kind of logic? Think through some way, some attribute of the token, why you would want to nest something into something. Work on that logic, think it through, make a set of NFTs that have these attributes, and then do some magic, and where you say like, look, we have this auto-composable bundles. So what would that mean? It would mean like, haha, I have made these collections and there are some specific attributes in my collections. And when I say now bundle these tokens and these tokens, something happens where they magically arrange themselves in some very meaningful way. And then you show like, oh, how did that happen? And you say like, but here's the logic. This token has this attribute, but this token has this attribute. This means that this token will be the parent of this token, but this token will be the parent of that token, because the logic is hidden in the attributes. And that opens up a door to like programmatically constructing these bundles of organized NFTs, which is really interesting. Remember, the initial idea that we had in our Hack 2 challenge was this. We wanted people to create these bundles of attendance POAP tokens. And we were saying like, look, IBC Media has provided a very rich platform of many venues. Like you visit this, you visit these talks, you visit these hackathons, and they have sub hackathons, and they have sub lectures, and they have these sub talks and workshops and so on. This is a very rich structure of places you can visit. And we told you guys like, hey, wouldn't it be fun if we put out a challenge to those who are attendees that are in the IBC Media to get POAPs like for attending certain workshops? So that would be like an interesting thing for a developer to visit more than one workshop, just not the one that he's visiting. And then when they visit, then we could create this application which creates a POAP. Then how would you organize the structure of where were you at what time? Would it be just a flat collection of POAPs, or could you organize an NFT structure where every NFT is like hack 1, hack 2, hack 3, hack 4? Yeah, like there's an NFT in itself, and under it, it's got a nested POAP. Like I visited this workshop and I visited this workshop, or and so you would have this kind of rich structure. So that was the idea, to kind of use this bundling concept of parent-child relationship, which is actually a relationship tree. And that was the idea with the first challenge. And now we just recycled this idea with saying, this essentially comes down to, why not look at it the other way around? Why not use some attributes of NFTs to allow them to find a place in the tree of the organized bundle? That is the challenge. It's an interesting one, because you have to think through, how are you going to categorize them? How are you going to systematize? On what basis are you going to make a decision which NFT is a parent of which NFT and who belongs to which branch and so on? So it's really a playground for like, woo, go crazy, like whatever. Like, it's up to you. We're happy with whatever you can think of, and we're hoping that it's going to kind of incite you to think about it and play around with it and come up with something that will also surprise you and make you happy with the solution. And that this would then really make us happy to give you the prize. And like, yeah, like this is what we wanted. Happiness and excitement, and people who are like, whoa, this is crazy, you know? And I hope it's going to go that way.
Yeah. So I think that's it for what I have, what I got. And if anyone has any doubt.
Wow, so I think that was fun. And obviously, we will have more questions coming in on the Discord server, and we will take them up as they come. So first of all, Felix, thank you. Philip, thank you for sharing the, I'm really sorry, Philip, thank you for sharing the links on the Discord server. It's really helpful for participants, because I'm seeing some participants who generally join on in these sessions might have skipped thinking it's a Saturday. Guys, just give me a second. I'm just one. Hey guys, really sorry. I just got some parcel and unfortunately I was the only person who had to go and pick it up. So just got occupied on the door. So yeah, Philip, thank you for helping us out here, and Sergey, of course. And I think the links on the Discord are going to be very helpful. At the same time, I know that some members are missing here, and we'll be sharing the same with all of them. What we have learned, and especially the YouTube links that are going to be extremely helpful for these guys. And but we might be coming back to you on Discord, Philip and Sergey, and we might be bothering you with more questions because I know as students start working on it, they might be facing some challenges as they go and do the uh, do the challenges. And yeah, so I think it'd be fair to say that we'll be bothering you very soon.
Great, perfect. I'm happy to see there is a fine turnout. I'm really hoping that we've kind of enticed some of the developers to look at the challenges. As I mentioned, we've tried to make it really well, how do I put it? These steps that we made through the first, second, and the third stage, they are like an easy way to step into the world of the unique network SDK development. The reason being is, as we've reviewed now this code, it is becoming kind of second nature to I hope, for everyone to kind of understand the way it's functioning. It's relatively simple once you kind of find the entry points at which you're looking at, which we're trying to explain here. So what are you supposed to be looking at? And then from that point, it becomes like clear. Oh, I get it. This means, but what does it mean? It means something which is defined over here. How is it defined? Well, it's a bit of a complex structure. Actually, it's not. But once you figure it out, it's like, oh, this is easy peasy, like really simple. It's just a JSON structure essentially. And so everybody gets. So once you get past those points, it's like you're flying. There's nothing more to it. Like, that's it. You're creating NFTs. And then when you pass this stage, and this is what we're trying to really bring everybody in this story, and why we made it in these three stages, is that the moment you accomplish it and you say like, oh yeah, this is really easy, it leads you to the point where the final challenge, which, as we've explained here now, is kind of it can be a mind bender if you want to make it that. And we're actually trying to invite everybody to go crazy with the mind bender stuff, to think of something which is going to surprise us, because remember, it's an equal playing field here for everyone. So we're not just asking you to replicate something. We really want you to have fun, to use these tools to say like, oh, I can't remember a time when somebody gave me like a challenge where I was really kind of woohoo, having a lot of fun thinking of crazy things. And I think this kind of challenge gives that opportunity. And if we make the developers happy in this way, that will be our greatest satisfaction, because in the end, what we want to say is, look, I had a lot of fun. Like, the presentation was okay. I got quickly into it. The challenges were interesting, and we got the money. So like, whoa, woohoo. Like, yeah, that's what I expect from hackathons. And this is what we really want to kind of provide for everyone, and to make it a really pleasant and an interesting experience.
I couldn't agree more, because the stage-wise challenges is a really it really helps the participants to just go through the entire process, and not getting intimidated immediately. Like, once they go and face challenges one by one, it becomes fairly easy. But at the same time, mind-bending stuff is for the end, and obviously by the time they reach there, they would be a little savvy as to in which in the thinking process, and they would know which questions to ask and where to figure out the problems. I think that
So-
should be very interesting to watch, and
Deepak, but we will need a little bit of assistance from you, because there has to be a way to prune out jumping in and out or some foul play. We would need to kind of have from you, the organizers, the confirmation of each team and their wallet address. So it wouldn't be a bad idea to kind of request, if you're going to play the game, would you please supply us with your wallet address with which you are going to take participation? Of course, the minting sequence is going to determine the time. This is something that you can't really, hooray for blockchain, that you can't go around, which the moment you mint is the moment you mint. So it's in the blockchain. So there's no issue regarding that. But the point being, with the first challenge being so simple, which actually is not a programming challenge, it's a challenge where we want you to see how through an interface, the idea that we touched upon today, which is organizing the attributes of the collection and how they reflect on the tokens. When you go through the wallet, through the steps, you have a graphical interface which leads you through the code that you saw there. That code, that structure that we were talking about all this time and that we talked about just a few moments ago, that will be in this beautiful interface in our wallet where you just point and click and select yes, I want this to be red and blue, and I want this to be I have a polka dot collection where I have 4 dots and I call them balanced and unbalanced structured, of if there are 2 dots on the bottom, that's a stable structure. And then if it's 2 dots on the top, it's unstable. And so you get these attributes, you give them to these tokens during creation, and you kind of wrap your mind about what we're talking about when we're showing you the attributes in the code. So that step is a step where you go I get it perfectly now in terms of what they are in relation to the code. The next step is connected to the code. And the third step is go crazy, show us how good of a developer you actually are. Because we're at the third stage, we're giving an okay price for it, really good price for it. And we do expect some serious kind of contenders in that place. And I have to say it for everyone that's present, we're not going to be lenient with giving away the prizes at the final stage. We need your developers, the developers, to show us that you can actually do some serious magic with the task that we've given. I think we've kind of laid out a nice playground, and really hope that you're going to be hooked on the bait and take the challenge and go crazy.
I seriously don't think, guys, this entire unique exercise of 3 challenges could be described in a much better way than what Philip has already done. And Philip, first of all, thank you once again for helping us with the 3 stages of the entire process. So, guys, we have over 8 lakh worth of prizes to be won, what Philip is talking about here. And you need to understand that it's not going to be easy. I mean, even though the initial challenges is very simple, but you have to understand that it will have a very strong scrutiny. And obviously, Philip, you have told about, we have a very strict tracking process, and with respect to the wallets and which all teams are going to be participating, and we have a very limited infra where this space of fidgeting with the information is possible. So we have already started the process, and that's in work, so we won't be having that issue. But at the same time, guys, do start working out on the challenges here, and where to reach out to these guys. You can from what I know, Philip doesn't really like to use LinkedIn, but then you have Discord.
Yeah. I mean, I carried I don't know, I have no experience, a cans on a string, and they dingle as I walk, bling, bling, bling around me. I understand the function of LinkedIn, but I'm so I so don't like Facebook and LinkedIn. I don't even want to explain it. it's
So
too
that
open.
also should give you another idea as to you can reach out to Philip as to what kind of social media he would like and which has a scope. So maybe you can create something which would be a challenge to all the users of these platforms would be. And I think he would love to give you some ideas on the same.
Nice. Yeah.
With that, thank you, Philip. Thank you,
Yeah.
Sergey, for taking out the time on a
Thank you,
Saturday. I hope
Deepak.
you guys have a great evening and
Yeah.
and a very good Sunday tomorrow. And
You as well.
guys, thank you for joining in. Thank you so much. Thank you for
Thank you,
joining in,
everyone.
Deepak. Thank you. Thank you, Deepak, for helping us out with the Q&A. And guys, have a great evening today. I know this is a weekend, tomorrow is Saturday, but understand that practice is what will help you out in this entire exercise. And so just go back and try out whatever you have learned from today's and yesterday's session. And obviously, as you come up with more questions, more problems, just drop it out to us on Discord and we'll be helping out to you in the same. With that, Philip, Sergey, Deepak, any final comments for the participants here?
I think we've covered most of, if not all of it here. So yeah, dive in. Dive in and have fun.
Yes, Sergey, you were saying something?
Yeah, good luck. Have fun.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, guys. Thank you once again.
Bye.
Yeah, thank you, Philip. Thank you, Sergey.
Bye.